The following podcast has been rated Listener MA. It contains strong language, violence, adult situations, nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Laughing on the Sidelines podcast. I'm your host. My name is Scotty Gurman, aka Scooter McFuckstick, and alongside me, as usual, I have one excellent stand-up comedian.
The only one you need.
The only one I need. The 1984 Kingman County T-Ball Defensive Player of the Year award winner, Mr. Jeremy Joseph.
Why do we always got to get started with that McFuckstick nonsense? Nobody says that. Nobody calls you that.
Yeah, I think they do. It's starting to be a following on TikTok.
You gave yourself a nickname.
No, I didn't.
Wow.
No, you didn't like all the other ones that I had.
If that's the case, I want to be known as Thunderfuck.
Okay, fair
Jeremy
enough.
Thunderfuck Joseph.
Okay, fair enough. I think that requires a large penis, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the lion. I don't
am
know.
I?
Well, yeah, I don't know, but my bet is you're lying.
Well, we'll play a game of chicken later. We'll find out whether you want to look or not.
Anyways, welcome. If this is the first time that you are listening to this show, first of all, if you haven't already noticed, this is a show.
It's a great story.
It's a great story
Of a man named Brady.
It's a show where we like to discuss the current events in sports using inappropriate jokes and foul language. So that's not your thing. You're in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm. Eat shit and die.
Eat shit and die. Unfortunately, Derek, our cohort, is not with us today.
He's on assignment.
He's on assignment.
We sure put him on a lot of assignments here lately.
Yeah, I know. Lately we do.
That's one of those things where, like in baseball, terminology that they use in baseball that I don't get designated for assignment.
Yeah,
that makes it sound like you've got something special planned for him. No, that means you let him go. That means other teams have a chance to pick him up on his existing contract, and if they don't do it in 10 days, he's released. The other one is injured reserve.
Yeah,
that makes it sound like in an emergency situation you might be able to get him. No, they're done. They're done for the year. That means they cannot come back. They are not reserve anything.
They're reserved. They can't get traded or something like that, I think.
Right, but they're not your reserve players.
Correct.
You can't draw from that pool if you need.
Right. But anyways, welcome to the show. Thanks. Yeah, I know. Is it your first day?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is. I'm the fucking new guy.
Yeah, the FNG. Mm-hmm. It's going to be fun without Derek, I think.
You bet it is.
The fun ones are here.
Yeah.
Such a Debbie Downer.
He sure is.
Oh, well.
Walking around with his fucking, we've only won one World Series in 150 fucking years, or whatever it is.
No, series since, pennant since 45, a series in 1908. So it's 100 and, they won in 16.
100 and,
whatever.
100
Math.
It's a lot of fucking years is what it is.
Yeah. So that's okay. We'll miss him. He may be back next week. We'll see what happens. It depends on if he comes back from his assignment.
It depends on if we let him back.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
You're on thin fucking ice holders. You hear that?
Anyways, as we always do, we like to start off a show something a little bit lighthearted, something about our weeks personally that happened, not necessarily related to sports. So, Jeremy Joseph, how was your week, bud?
Like shit. That's how it was.
That's awesome.
It's
Great.
terrible. I got... for the second time in my life, second time in about a year and a half now, I got diverticulitis.
I have no fucking clue what that is.
It is an infection it's an intestine infection, bacterial infection.
Okay.
And basically it feels like, and sorry to get graphic here, but I'm gonna, you know that feeling when you're incredibly constipated?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well,
I've never had that problem.
That's what it feels like, only there's nothing to come out. It feels like you've got to go and there's nothing. And the more you try, the more you just fucking
make it worse.
You make it worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly painful. The first time I had it, I had to go in the hospital for a day.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. It was awful. And it's very hard to get rid of because, there's basically your bowels are teeming with bacteria as it is.
Oh.
So they've got to try and kill the ones that aren't, it's beneficial bacteria. So they got to kill the ones that are infecting you without killing the beneficial
Way to go.
ones. And it's a motherfucker.
All right.
So that's what's going on with my asshole.
I want to throw up.
So I got to spend some couch time. Couldn't tell you a damn thing I watched other than I watched the news last Friday. KSN Channel 3 here in Wichita. That's the NBC affiliate, where they had a drawing, a giveaway that they were doing like once every commercial break. They drew these like 2 names out of this big fucking hopper that they spun around with all these cards on it. And the first one was for a $2,500 gift card, Visa gift card. Some law firm donated it, and they pulled out this guy's name, this Jason Fawcett. He won it.
Okay.
And then they threw his card back in, and the next thing was for a Hyundai Santa Fe.
Santa Fe? Okay. SUV?
Yeah.
Okay.
They fucking spun it. Same fucking guy.
You're fucking kidding
No.
me.
Same fucking guy got the prize twice. So
that sucks.
yeah. And then I did come across something, but I'm going to wait till after you do your week recap.
Okay.
Because I want to do it kind of as a public service announcement.
Okay. Well, I actually do have somewhat of a little bit of an announcement, I think. We have started looking for a new studio.
Oh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's still going to be in whatever home I live in, but it's going to be a new one.
But you can't afford the payments on this one.
This one's getting a little bit... I think it's the other direction, actually. I think I'm trying to get a bigger studio.
No, the bank has told you got to be out in 30 days.
I'm tired of seeing the fucking closet door in the damn shot.
Dude, that's the best part of the show.
Is that
People
right?
love that closet door.
It's the highlight.
People only listen to this show for the closet door, and the listeners love that closet door.
Love that closet door.
That's the viewers don't care for it so much, but the listeners, they love that closet door. I get a lot of comments on that closet door.
That's actually where we're hiding Derek. He's actually in there taped up and tied to something. So.
Oh, yeah, something else that I forgot to mention. I got in some good Facebook fights.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You want to get into that? I'll let you go.
Okay. The main one I got into was some site had shared onto our site, or somebody had shared a meme from
somebody else
that where they were ranking quarterbacks by tiers, and like they had, who did they have? They had Brady, they had Manning, Montana.
Your standard top 5.
They were in the, there was 3 or 4, I think maybe Unitas.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in the top tier, and then the second tier was, your Elway, Marino.
Breeze had to be up there.
Yeah, and anyways, Terry Bradshaw was in tier 4, and some guy just fucking went off that he belongs in tier 1. The guy won 4 Super Bowls, and he called his own plays. Boy, did he put a lot of emphasis on him calling his own plays. Here's the thing. Okay?
Well, Jeremy catchphrase right there.
Most quarterbacks back then called their own plays. So it really wasn't that big of a deal. And when you call your own plays, most of those plays are to hand the ball off to a far more talented player, that's really not that big of a deal. I mean, Terry Bradshaw has 4 Super Bowl rings. That is indisputable. Terry Bradshaw did not win 4 Super Bowls. He was on a Super Bowl winning team 4 times, and he hitched a ride. Terry Bradshaw has, throughout his career, 7 300-yard passing games. In his entire career.
Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw averaged 166 passing yards per game. He threw 212 touchdowns and 210 interceptions throughout the course of his career. He is not a good quarterback. Never was, never will be. I'm guessing he's not coming back.
No, Mitch Trubisky has better numbers than that. He has better numbers than that. I'm not saying he's a better quarterback, but that's also because the game has also changed since then.
It's certainly changed, and granted, he was a good leader.
Sure.
He held the guys together, and he did make some good plays, but no, he does not belong in there with Brady and Manning.
No, I don't.
That
I don't
is
think
fucking
so.
stupid. And this guy is stupid for existing.
Well, and I'm going to be as realistic as possible. I don't really like the quarterback argument right now for like the top 25 of all time, because as realistic as I possibly can, there are some guys that are playing currently that are going to take a lot of the spots.
Sure, and I don't think you can never really put. Maybe guys like Brady you could put in there.
Brady belongs there.
They're certainly at the twilight of their career,
Right.
and you can make a very accurate summation of what their total career has been. But, guys like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, they're just getting started.
I would put Mahomes way over Lamar Jackson right now. I would say right now, the only thing that's holding Mahomes back is if he gets hurt.
Andy Reid.
That too. But no, I think Mahomes is eventually going to go down as probably one of the best, if not the best ever.
If this portion of his career is any indication of what is to come, because some guys just fucking drop off. I mean, that is the case. People hit slumps and they just don't recover. It's just as much mental as it is physical.
Sure.
But if, the 2 seasons as a starter that he's been in the league 3 total years.
Right.
He's going to rewrite the record books.
Yeah, and I'm not a I'm not a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I'm not. I'm not,
dude.
But
we've seen all your gear.
That guy's a stud. He's a fucking stud. It's just that simple.
He is a stud. Lamar Jackson is, I think, just as much of a stud, but in a very different way. Mm-hmm. But when you're talking about traditional quarterbacking ability, yes, Mahomes is far more your prototype. NFL quarterback. But with a lot more.
Yeah, and dare I say, I would put a lot of the other quarterbacks that are not winning as many games. Like, I would put Russell Wilson in one of those top spots. I'm not saying he's going to be in the top 5. Don't call me crazy. I'm saying though
7?
is I'd say top 10 though. I really do think
of all time.
Of all time. And here's the reason why the game has changed so goddamn much. I mean, you're right. Quarterbacks back in those days were handing the ball off 90% of the fucking time.
Right.
It wasn't what the game was. His position was not as valuable as it is now.
But if, like, say, a Joe Montana had... Okay, Joe Montana from back in the 80s and 90s probably could not compete in today's game.
Correct.
But had Joe Montana been brought up through the high school system with, the workout techniques, and had been able to adapt all along like these other guys could, would he have adapted to where, I mean, you can't really compared to the best football players of his time, he was one of the best. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
I agree. If you're doing it to their time, then sure. I get that. Dominant players, but that's beside the point. Anyways, interrupting my week. Now I don't even remember what the hell I did.
We're getting a new studio.
We're looking into getting a new studio. So unfortunately, what may end up happening is I'm gonna have to take the banner down because I got to sell this one. I got to sell this studio. So
you're gonna sell the banner?
No,
to pay for this studio?
Yeah,
this new one.
I'm gonna sign it.
Dude,
and
you're
sell it.
really looking forward to shit on eBay. I think a little too much.
But no, so eventually we I did talk to Derek, and we may end up doing it a little bit over in his studio. Possibly.
Okay. Is that the assignment that he's on right now? Is getting his studio ready? Okay.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Prep.
But just in case, if you see any of the backdrop, if you watch us on YouTube, that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I did also finally get a chance to sit down and watch beginning to end The Battered Bastards of Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it very much so. My wife actually enjoyed it as well. Excellent documentary. Excellent documentary.
And just
I loved it.
You talk about people who did as much as you possibly can with as little to work with.
Yeah.
And that the ending even.
Yeah.
When he stuck it to those fuckers.
Yeah, fuck you assholes. And I really did. I didn't know the story at all.
I didn't either. I can't believe I'd never really even heard of
this. I've never heard of this. If you have Netflix right now, you can go on and watch. It's The Battered Bastards of Baseball. Excellent story. Kurt Russell's father basically ended up owning a single-A unaffiliated minor league baseball team, and basically took it out of nowhere and made it a success. Yeah, and it was so impressive.
An unaffiliated single-A team, not an independent league. They were an independent team competing against other affiliated teams and beating the shit out of them.
So basically, they were taking guys that were not drafted and putting them on a team, and they were kicking the shit.
Well, a lot of them were
everybody
guys who had been drafted but let go.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Or
a lot of
at the
guys
tail
at that
end-
level.
at the tail end of their career.
Maybe they'd gotten hurt and the team just decided we're not going to spend the time rehabbing them or whatever.
Yeah.
But they were all looking for a second chance in baseball, and they had no desire to move up in levels or try and
Yeah.
There was, one guy who was trying to get back into majors.
Yeah.
But aside from that, they were just guys who were there because they wanted to be able to keep playing baseball.
Yeah, that's it. And they partied a lot, and they were kind
did.
of rambunctious and went a little crazy. But my favorite part about that whole documentary was the freaking catcher. He was a lefty. That is shocking.
He, as far as he knew, he may have very well been the only professional left-handed catcher. I can't say that I've ever heard of one.
I've never heard
I didn't
of
even know
one.
they made left-handed mitts.
I didn't either. But I mean, I'm sure they do. But it blows me away that, I mean, I get why they don't have lefties, but as a catcher, but it's shocking how he was the only fucking one.
And he did it fairly well.
Fairly well
enough, I guess.
Well enough. But do check it out. It's a great documentary. I definitely recommend it, especially being a baseball fan.
And I actually was listening to some archived, my favorite podcast, Never Not Funny with Jimmy Pardo.
Thanks, asshole.
Yeah, it's way better than this one.
You're such a dick.
Well, Jesus, the guy's one of the most entertaining people in the world.
Oh, okay.
And he was the first American comedian to have a podcast.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
And so he's been doing this for, I think they're in 13 years, something like that.
We got a while to catch up.
Yeah, and we never will because they're still going. But I was listening to some archive, and from like 8 years ago, they were talking about this.
Mm-hmm. Really?
And so it's been around a while. I can't believe I'd never heard of it before.
Oh, that's insane.
Especially since I've listened to every episode of that podcast.
Yeah.
You would have thought I would have heard of it by now, but hadn't.
No, I think I watched that again. Recommend it highly, even if you're not a baseball fan. It's just a good story.
It's just fun.
It's a great story. What else did I do? Obviously, we went looking for some options for studios. But the other thing,
AKA houses.
yeah. The other thing that I did, shit, I had it and I lost it. I had it and I lost it.
Well, this is what fans loved listening to.
God damn it! Shut up, Jeremy.
Stumbling over your fucking thoughts.
God damn it. Yeah, I ended up playing a lot of Call of Duty.
Well, I told you this earlier, but I'll say it again, and I'm going to recommend it to everybody out there. If you get the chance to go shopping for houses, do it. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not in the market for a house, it is so therapeutic to be able to walk into somebody else's house and say out loud, I don't like a fucking thing about this place. This place is shitbox. Let's get the hell out of here. It fucking smells.
Yeah.
Even if the homeowner's right there, just do it. This was their fucking house. Maybe they've raised kids there. There's a story behind this place.
Oh, bring them down.
And just, yeah. This is what you call wallpaper?
Yeah, tear their heart out.
Fuck yeah.
I actually think that would be a smart thing, putting like cameras up while people are walking through your house, just so you can actually hear what people really fucking think. That bugs me. It really bugs me that people are lying about it to your face. It's like, oh, it's a beautiful home. And then they get in their car and they're just like, what a fucking shithole that was.
Well, I mean, if they're wanting you to spend 6 figures on a home, I'm going to be honest with them.
Yeah, no shit.
This fucking carpet makes me want to puke.
What the fuck is with the pink bathroom? Jesus Christ. Saw one of those.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, like the 70s, I think. 70s, 80s. It was really... No, it had to have been 80s because the house wasn't that old. But
yeah, I think a lot of that 70s retro look tried to make a comeback and they failed.
And it failed. I guess, yeah, you're right. It would have been 90s because the house was fairly new.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, pink toilets. I mean, imagine a man sitting on a pink toilet taking a shit. It's just not very...
Okay, now what? I'm imagining it. How long? Is he reading the paper?
No, just how masculine do you look? I mean, don't you want to take a shit on a toilet?
I
that
would
has, like,
love
spikes
to
on
take
the
a
side?
shit. I've got diverticulitis, and I can't.
No, absolutely not.
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm sure you do.
I would. I would shit in a toilet made of shit.
Great.
That's what I would do.
Lastly, the last thing I did, and just a brief update, I keep on monitoring this damn TikTok It's Not a Bach thing. The video that we have going on, it's now over 500,000 views, or it's still over 500,000 views.
Did you get who was the 500,000th viewer?
Was it you?
No.
Oh, I don't know who it was.
I don't know, but I put that offer out there, so we got to
send
him some paperwork about paying for travel expenses.
You can't track who is the viewer, like the 500,000th viewer.
Boy, they're going to be upset to find out they missed out on this opportunity. But having me coach their kid in T-ball.
But it's almost like there's a second wave now, because for the first wave, it was just a whole bunch of people that didn't know a fucking thing about baseball that was saying it was a balk. And here's the thing. Here's the truth about it. It's a trick question. We all know it's a balk, but from that camera angle, you cannot. It's
not a balk.
It's not a balk. We know it's not a balk. But from that camera angle, and if you don't know he's a submarine pitcher because you don't listen to the show regularly, you pieces of shit, you don't know the details.
Talking to you,
non-listeners, but you don't know why it is not a balk, and it's kind of an important part of the reason why it's not. If he goes straight up and backwards, he doesn't make any movement towards home, it's not a balk. But if you don't know he's a submarine pitcher, and you don't have a view from third base, which you don't, you can't really tell. All you can see are the other things that you can put together and piece together and see. Yeah, it can't be a balk.
After the show that he was on, he showed me how he did. He just stood over there, and I couldn't believe how natural that just came to him. I mean, he did it.
It's insane.
I would fall over. Even I fall over thinking about it.
Yeah.
And he just made it look like it was nothing.
Yeah. It's impressive.
Hate that kid.
I like him. I thought he was pretty cool.
He's all right. He's a decent kid.
He's all right.
Needs to get a boy's haircut. But other than that...
And shave his fucking face. Coming from me. He just needs to let the mustache get a little bit thicker before he tries to grow it out.
I think it's not a matter of him letting it. He would love for it to be. Because for some reason he wants a mustache like a pedophile. Just shave your whole fucking face. You're getting the rest of it anyway, dude.
Yeah. Well, doesn't it get thicker the more you shave it? I don't know if that's a wives' tale. I think that's true.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well,
I've never grown just a mustache, and I've had this goatee since I was 19.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't shaved it in a while, and it's fairly thick.
I've started growing a beard like 2-3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and I like it.
I remember the day you started growing it.
Yeah, did you?
Right at the start of this podcast.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was. Yeah, you're right. Good call. Good call.
Yes, it was a good call.
The last thing,
best call, better than any call you've ever made.
Yeah, that's for sure. Obviously, this is more of a sports current events show.
Sure,
but
it is.
There's not shit. There's not shit going on.
Fox Sports the other day, or not Fox Sports, but FS1.
Yeah.
Did a re-showing of WrestleMania 3.
Ooh, I would have watched that.
You should have been on FS1.
I missed it because
you can get on the internet and watch it anytime.
Was WrestleMania 3 the one where Andre the Giant actually beat Hulk Hogan? Because he won in WrestleMania 1. Hulk Hogan beat Andre the Giant in WrestleMania 1.
WrestleMania 1 was Hulk Hogan and Mr. T against Rowdy Piper.
Okay.
And God damn it.
I can't think of the other.
I can't think of it either.
I want to say Jake the Snake, but it's not Jake the Snake. It's somebody else.
Right. And
Ted DiBiase.
No.
Oh, it's not? Oh,
no, but it was somebody kind of like that.
Yeah.
But Ted DiBiase would have been years later.
Okay.
And it was such a bullshit main event because if I recall right, Hogan and Mr. T won because Piper threw Hogan out of the ring over the top rope, which gets you disqualified. So the main event was won by disqualification.
I hate it when they do that.
That's fucking stupid. Of course, back then WrestleMania wasn't WrestleMania. It was just a thing.
Well, anyway. What was I going? Oh, have you experienced anything with coronavirus at all? Since now everything is open. Apparently, you can go get a haircut.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the waiting list is.
I don't know.
To get an appointment.
I gave up on that.
Here's the thing. While I'm not scared of the virus, like some people who normally sit on the side of the desk, but you know, but I also don't want to be a part of the problem.
Right.
And so, you know, when it comes to restaurants and stuff like that, I'm much more comfortable just eating at home anyway.
Yeah, I
so
would much rather eat at home.
I typically go get the shit to go. Plus, God, this podcast, the fucking paparazzi is always hounding me and shit. I can't go into public.
Yeah.
I got to drive through places and bring it back to the house. So
I wear
that's just what I do anyway.
I wear a disguise.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, a hijab works really well.
Really?
Yeah.
You go Muslim?
Well, because it covers everything.
I suppose. Yeah.
So?
I just figured you wore a fucking, like the Groucho glasses with the nose and the mustache.
No.
You went with the Valentine?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Remember him?
No.
Bobby Valentine?
Maybe?
He was manager for the Red Sox and the Mets, I think.
Yes. Okay,
and
gotcha.
he was ejected from a game once. Mm-hmm. Went back to the locker room, put on fake glasses and a fucking fake mustache, and came back to the dugout.
Wasn't he there the rest of the game?
Yeah, and it was just so fucking obvious what was happening. And I don't know why nobody did anything about it. And I don't know if he was doing it as a joke or if he really thought he was getting away with something.
I think that one's good, but the best one of all time is whenever that guy got ejected for it was a bad call. It was a strike ball call that he didn't agree with, and he ended up behind the pitcher's mound, taking the rosin bag and throwing it over throwing it from behind the pitcher's mound to the plate like a grenade.
Oh, Mikulik.
Yes, that was by far the best.
Yeah, he never made
ever.
it past the minors. He's got a whole, like, if you go on YouTube and look him up, he's got several blow-ups.
Videos.
Yeah.
That's great. I think it's awesome.
Torrey Hunter, one time when he, toward the end of his career with the Twins, got thrown out of a game.
Yeah.
And he was mostly naked by the time he left the field. He threw his jersey, his batting gloves, his fucking shoes, everything out on the fucking field. His batting helmet, just, I think he had on an undershirt and, like, you know, sliding shorts, and that was about it.
Ugh, that's rough. Okay.
So
that was a long week recap. Thank God. Yeah.
Speaking of coronavirus.
Okay.
I know that's kind of taking front and center right now of everybody's attention. And the problem with that is, while there are people that, you know, come on TV and give you tips all the time on what to do, how to handle the situation, all this and that. You get kind of focused on that, and there's other problems that could arise that maybe you don't think about. And, you know, I wasn't thinking about diverticulitis.
Right.
And so it helps when people put out stuff with how to deal with other problems. And I came across this the other day. What to do if you wake up at 3 a.m. and there's a cowboy standing in your room. What the fuck? Now, this is kind of a flow chart on how to handle the situation, okay? First thing you want to do, you want to check to make sure you haven't traveled back in time to cowboy days.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. You can do this by asking him, is this cowboy time? Now, if they say yes, it is cowboy time, then that explains everything and go back to bed. However, if the cowboy, if it's not cowboy time, then you have to ask him, cowboy, why are you here? Or, why are you here, cowboy? Okay. If they say, I need your help to find my magical horse Rex, then go with them, because this kind of thing doesn't happen very often. If he doesn't, this means he's a bad cowboy. And the final step to that, deploy anti-cowboy measures. So I sent this to my brother, apparently a couple days too late, because he said his urethra is still hurting. Because apparently that was a bad cowboy. So...
Oh, Jesus.
In case anybody, you know, shit happens.
Where in the fuck did you find that?
Facebook. It's a special site. I got an app. But I think it's good advice, you know.
Oh, Lord.
I didn't even know it could be a problem, but if it ever does become a problem, I know what to do.
Oh my God.
Get your anti-cowboy measures.
How is that
ready
even
to
a
deploy.
problem? I can think of tons more. Anyways. Okay, moving on. Let's get into probably, we'll start with NASCAR had a race over the weekend. Do you know who won?
No.
Who gives a fuck?
I didn't know they had a race.
Who gives a fuck? Moving on. All right. We also get the Last Dance. The Last Dance. So it was the last 2 episodes of The Last Dance. If you have not seen it, spoiler alert, please watch this documentary. I thought it was.
That's not a spoiler alert.
No. Spoiler alert. I'm telling people because we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the good things we liked, the bad things. So I loved it. Okay. I really loved the whole show. I said this last episode. We talked about them jumping around. I don't like how they did that. I think it could have gotten the same reaction if they would have done it. Huh?
You don't like them going House of Pain on that shit?
No.
They jump around.
I know. I don't like how they kept on going back and forth from Jordan in the beginning and Jordan most recent. They kept on going back to the 98 season because that was the last dance. That was the whole idea of the show. Right. I would have also, so that's why they called it The Last Dance, is because they kept on going back to the 98 season and going back through Jordan's, career getting to that point. So I understand that. But that was the only con that I have with watching that documentary. Everything else I thought was done beautifully, and I thought it was very well done. But the things that I noticed more, especially in the last couple of episodes, which, spoiler alert, the Bulls won against the Jazz in 1998.
In 98?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I was really shocked that nobody else was getting camera time in other locker rooms. All of the footage that we have, I understand Michael Jordan is the Greek god in this time period of NBA basketball.
Well, and it was about the Chicago Bulls. It wasn't about other people.
I understand that, but there's not any... You don't have that footage now of all of these other teams. It's not around. And the main reason why was because the media for the NBA solely concentrated all of their manpower on the best player in the NBA, who was Michael Jordan, and his teammates, and this whole story for his entire run in the 90s.
Well, they just haven't made a documentary of it. The other teams have those... that camera work is mostly being done by... The teams have their own camera
people,
crews
yeah,
that follow them around to get footage to make promo videos and shit like that. And so... but between that and the mainstream media, no, there was probably rarely a time when there wasn't a camera on Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Most of the time. But at the time, he was bigger than the game. He was larger than life. I'm glad they made this documentary and they kind of showed what he is, because back in those days, most of us were under the impression that he was just a great guy. He was a fucking prick. He was an overly competitive one, but while I would have loved to have had him if I was the owner of a team, I wanted him on my team, but I wouldn't want him to be his friend. He was a fucking jerk.
I guess. And granted, you also have to understand that Michael Jordan had a hand in directing this thing.
I don't have to do a fucking thing, Scotty.
Okay. You should know.
Oh, okay.
That Michael Jordan had a hand in directing this. So a lot of the things, because he even came out and said, I'm really scared of people thinking that I'm just an absolute and total prick. Well, the fact is that he kind of is an absolute
the reason
total
he's
prick.
Afraid of that is because
he kind of is. Now, but the thing is, watching the practices and watching his him being with his teammates, and even when he's being an asshole to his teammates, there is a goal at the end of the tunnel. There's a reason why he's doing it, is all I'm saying. And it's trying to fire up his other teammates that are not as good to try to get them to perform better, which is something that he uses on himself to play as great as he does. Maybe other players don't react that way and he doesn't understand it. There is some kind of mental thing that Michael Jordan has that is a benefit to him that not a lot of other people have.
Well, it's a situation where, like with a lot of people who are great at anything, his gift is also his curse.
Yeah. That's fair.
You know, I mean, his competitive drive is what really made him stand out from other really great basketball players, because he played in probably the greatest era
Oh, sure.
of the NBA.
Sure.
And he stood out from even the greatest players at the time. I mean, he made Clyde Drexler look like a fucking fool, and Clyde Drexler is one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
But not the coldest,
No.
but one of the best.
One of the best.
But, you know, unfortunately for his personal life, I think it created some problems.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff that's kind of left out. It didn't talk about his marriage, didn't talk about all that shit that went down. Because I remember that in the later years, because I was becoming more cognitive, getting older and watching this. And they kind of left a couple of things out that I'm kind of shocked they didn't go into a little bit of it, but what do you do?
You know, and I was kind of surprised at the end why people were so shocked that they didn't keep this team together. And the main reasons for it should be very obvious. It would cost a fucking king's ransom. I mean, it would literally, no team could afford, you have 3 Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
3 fucking perennial all-stars.
Right.
On the team that are, you know, the best all-around player of all time. You have one of the top 50 in forwards, and then probably the best defender and rebounder.
Yeah.
Top 2, anyway. Rebounders.
The Bulls, whenever they were as dominant as they were, only had 2 NBA All-Stars on the team at one time when Jordan played. When Jordan was on the team, they only had one other All-Star.
Look it up. Pippen and Rodman were both household names.
Absolutely. But if that's always, I always get into arguments with people because it's like, okay, well, he had, you know, Pippen, he had Rodman. It's like, okay, but Pippen was the only other All-Star. In fact, the year that they had 3 All-Stars, Michael Jordan was playing baseball. It was like B.J. Armstrong and Scottie Pippen and one other guy.
And
Horace Grant probably.
Unfortunately for the All-Star game, it's not a real game.
Yeah.
So defense and rebounding
right.
is not really taken into near as much consideration.
Yeah.
Rodman was not, I mean, he could score, but like he was a terrible shooter.
He was awful at shooting.
That's not what he was on the team for.
People think that Shaq was bad at free throw shooting. Rodman was pretty bad too.
Yeah, I think Shaq's probably the worst of all time. But
yeah. But seriously,
I've seen no arm guys shoot better free throws.
Yeah.
You know who, oddly enough, and you probably will not know this name even, you know who is one of the best free throw shooters of all time, if not the best? I believe maybe holds a world record for most consecutive free throws made. And he's not even a basketball player.
No. Was he a gym teacher?
Nope.
Okay.
He was a musician.
Really?
Yeah. Art Garfunkel of Simon and Garfunkel?
Yeah.
Yeah. He made like 127 in a row.
I think I've actually seen like a YouTube video of him doing this.
He's outstanding at free throws. What a weird thing to be great at.
That's crazy.
He was the lesser of the two musically.
Yeah.
By far. But he wasn't a basketball player, but great at free throws.
That's insane.
Uh-huh.
That's nuts. The other thing I was going to point out was now that we have the social media, well, okay, I wanted to go into that what you just said first, I guess. Do you think that if they would have all taken 1-year contracts, they would have gone for 7? Because they could have afforded it if they all did 1-year contracts.
I don't know if the desire was there. You know, on Rodman's end, he was always flighty anyway. Mm-hmm. He almost always acted like he was above this or he didn't really want to be there.
I don't think he really gave a fuck about anything.
But, you know, Pippen was very jaded.
Mm-hmm. You would have had to renegotiate with Pippen.
And
you would have had to.
Well, and I don't think he would have taken the deal.
Maybe.
But if you had been able to keep that team together, sure. That certainly not only a possibility, but a likely.
Where did he get traded? Portland? I think that's where he went. It was Portland.
Portland or Houston?
Houston, one of the two.
I know he played for both.
I think he played. I want to say he went to Portland first and then Houston second.
I think he played with Charles Barkley down in Houston.
Yeah.
It was kind of the end of both their careers.
Yeah, that was the tail end.
Yeah.
But damn it, it would have been awesome if he would have got 7. If they would have done a 4-peat. Whew.
Yeah, you know what though? Actually, in '98, I recall very heavily rooting for the Jazz, just because I was tired of the same thing over again.
I was the only one in my household rooting for the Bulls. My stepdad's father lived in Salt Lake City and had season tickets to the Jazz. And that was how I was able to see Michael Jordan play. I did get to see Michael Jordan play one time. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. I was like 8 rows up from behind Michael Jordan's bench. My step grandfather got those tickets, and I sat next to him, and we had a fucking ball, and it was like the coolest day of my life. It was awesome.
Yeah,
but
good for you, Scotty.
Okay, well, I didn't know how big of a deal it was to go and be able to have the opportunity to see Michael Jordan play basketball.
Right.
Apparently, it's like a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
and I didn't appreciate it as much then as I would if I could now.
Yeah, and see, like back then, I kind of alluded to this last week, that's really kind of when the game changed a little bit. The early 80s Lakers teams, you had, of course, the star Kurt Rambis.
Yeah, right.
But you had Magic and Kareem, and you had James Worthy, and God, who else was on that team?
I think Jerry West was a little too...
He would have been before
that.
He was too busy making
logos. But it's the Lakers. It's the
right,
Lakers and the Celtics.
They were... All those guys together made the Showtime Lakers. Mm-hmm. This was Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Mm-hmm. That wasn't... He stood out from the rest of the team.
Actually, if I remember correctly, that is when they started doing that as announcers. Because a lot of... Even to this day, like you'll have somebody announce Christian Yelich and the Brewers will be taking on...
Oh, you're talking about like promo
commercials and shit. Michael Jordan was the one that started that.
Well, I don't know that he started it, but they started it with him.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant.
Right.
Yeah, they started doing that more often after they started doing it with Michael Jordan and the Bulls going up against Clyde Drexler.
And I don't blame Michael for that.
No.
I'm on a first-name basis, Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
I don't blame him for that. He didn't ask for any of that. But his level of talent and his level of gameplay commanded that.
Sure. But
it changed shit in sports forever.
But who do you think would be a bigger... high maintenance prick? Do you think LeBron would be more high maintenance or Jordan? These are different questions. Ooh, I like these.
Who's more high maintenance?
Who would be more
LeBron by far.
You think LeBron would be more high maintenance?
Jordan was, for as high profile of a star as he was, Jordan was a blue collar workman.
Okay.
He was not afraid to get down and dirty.
Right.
He didn't demand to have the best talent around him. He demanded that the people around him played their best.
Okay. All right. I'll go with you on that.
I mean, he was going to get down on the floor.
Okay.
If he had to. He was going to fucking throw bows if he had to.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the game that we have now is a little bit more sissified than what it was. And that's a fact.
By far, and there's a big reason for that, which is that, number one, when they're fouling, they got to go on the bench, and you lose television viewers when LeBron's sitting on the bench. If you're flipping through the game and you see LeBron out there, people are going to stop and watch. If they see he's on the bench, they're not going to stop and watch it. But also, they're paying these guys $25, $30 million a year sometimes. Like Kevin Durant got $30 million a year. Mm-hmm. You don't want that guy taking hard shots.
Yeah. It's almost like an insurance policy that you have to have on every player.
It's kind of like how in college football, big on the option offense, but doesn't really happen in the NFL, not because it wouldn't work, but because you don't want your $25 million a year quarterback taking shots right before he fucking pitches the ball.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. You want to keep that guy out of harm's way.
Nice.
In college, he's playing for free.
But yeah.
So they say.
Yeah. Here's my last question. It
better be.
Last question about the last dance.
If you've got them.
Last question about the last dance. Say you're building a team with the best Michael Jordan in his prime. Okay. Who would you rather put him with or build a team with? Would you rather it be LeBron, Pippen, Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant? Who's going to be the Robin to Michael Jordan as Batman?
Oh, boy.
That's tough.
That is tough because I think attitude-wise, I think probably Steph Curry.
You and I are on the same page, dude.
But at the same time, now you've got one of the most talented athletes, a guy who can do anything with the ball, on the same team with the most talented outside shooter maybe of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be arguing over who should have the ball. That can create some problems.
I think Steph Curry would probably let Jordan take the reins.
Probably, but that might not be the most efficient way to run the team.
The whole thing is I'm thinking about who would be the most mild-mannered out of all of them. And I think Steph Curry would be like, I don't give a shit. I just want to win.
I think may not make him the best teammate for Jordan because if he doesn't have a little fight in him.
Well, no, I still think he has fight in him. Don't get me wrong. I still think Steph Curry has a lot of fight in him. But
I could take him.
I think that they would have been a great duo. Mm-hmm. And I think they would probably have been better than Pippen. Pippen caused drama in the front office and in the locker room and not, going out there on the floor when he was told to and all that other shit. And that kind of bothers me. But LeBron, I think, would be more of a problem with who's going to be, the king of the team. And then Kevin Durant is just he's a pain in the ass. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. So. I could beat him in basketball right now.
Yeah. I don't know. He's working out and he looks pretty good.
By the way, I used the term earlier, throwing bows.
Yeah.
Apparently that comes from mixed martial arts uses that.
Yeah.
Throwing elbows.
Muay Thai.
10 years before that. That's what I called it when I'd wrap Christmas presents.
Nice.
I'm in here throwing bows.
The last question. This is the last question.
I threw my Bose Wave radio once.
Whose documentary is the next one in this category? Because it's coming.
Thunder Dan Marley.
after the success of The Last Dance, they will make another documentary soon.
I don't know that there is an enigmatic guy who they could. I mean,
I don't think it's going to necessarily be a guy. I think it may be a team.
Well, they've already done the 30 for 30 about the Celtics Lakers.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did one on the Pistons.
I'm pretty sure they've done the Bad Boys.
Yeah. I want a part 2 of The Last Dance, or obviously call it something different.
Kobe in the Lakers.
That's the. I have
because there was a lot of inner team drama.
Yeah, I think that one is probably going to happen first. I think obviously, especially after his passing and stuff like that, I think that they're probably making it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one that I would really enjoy to see would be the other side of the coin with the Utah Jazz, facing Jordan twice. I think they should probably start working on it now.
Just to see the devastation on their face.
Just the devastation of those guys. I really would love to enjoy to see. I mean, we saw John Stockton in the documentary. We didn't see Jeff Hornacek. We didn't see Antoine Carr. We didn't see what he had to say. I know they're
Chris
not.
Mullins.
Chris Mullins played for the Indiana Pacers.
I'm pretty sure he was on that 98 Jazz team.
No, Chris Mullins was not.
I know he played for the Warriors most of his career. But I thought he got traded to that Jazz team.
No, he played. I want to say I met the Warriors. Him and Tim Hardaway was on the that year's. But no, Chris Mullins never played for the Jazz. At least he didn't play whenever Jordan was there. You had. I want to say, was it Greg Ostertag was still right around that year? That was one of the big guys.
Maybe that's who I was thinking of because they're fucking both buzz-cuttered white guys.
Yeah, exactly. Karl Malone, John Stockton, Jeff Hornacek, and because that was my stepdad's team, obviously. So I knew a lot of the players, but
okay.
But anyway, moving on. Let's get to some fun shit. All right, because that's really all there is in sports.
Okay.
Mike Tyson's back in the gym at 53 years old.
Great.
There's a video that's kind of circling, and people even like Joe Rogan and a couple of other fighting announcers are wondering what the fuck he's doing. Because he looks like he's in shape, or he's getting in better shape, and he's not hitting the bag like he's teaching somebody something. He's hitting the bag like he's going to take your fucking head off. Do you think there's any way on this earth that he steps into the squared circle again?
Nope.
No?
No, I've heard a lot.
Not even for a money grab.
Nope. No, Mike Tyson is doing very well for himself now.
Okay.
Mike Tyson runs a marijuana farm, owns a big ass fucking marijuana farm.
I knew that.
And I've heard several interviews with him, and he has said that he is the most focused and centered and at peace with himself. You know, the thing is toward the end of his career, I mean, he fought Evander Holyfield twice, Lennox Lewis. I mean, he got the shit kicked out of him.
I don't think he was mentally stable. I don't think he still is mentally stable, but
he's as close to it as he's ever been.
That's what I'm saying. I think right now is probably the most mentally stable Mike Tyson we have ever seen.
Right, but he's 53, and I don't think he has any desire to get the shit beat out of him when he's doing just fine without getting the shit beat out of him.
I think he kind of has that gene, though. And he was in an interview with Joe Rogan. He basically told Joe Rogan that if I get into a gym and I actually start working out, it will drive me mad because I will want to be the best at that.
Or maybe he just realized that he was getting a little tubby.
Well, maybe, but at the same time, Joe Rogan even said like that. He warned me. He said if he gets into it and he starts getting into it again, Mike Tyson will fight again. And I'm not saying it's a money grab necessarily, but I can see somebody seeing the situation where it calls for that they would actually put Mike Tyson in the ring again. All of the people just from nostalgia would want to see him in black trunks. And they'd make a shitload of money.
Great.
Really quickly.
I mean, I hope he doesn't.
I hope he doesn't too.
And I hope that nobody would take advantage of him like that. And like I say, I think he's doing very well financially. So
he is.
It's not like he needs the money. And Mike Tyson knows as well as anybody how easily you can get hurt.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Mike Tyson. And while Mike Tyson was this phenom when he came out, because he was, very young.
Yeah.
I think he was 19 or something.
Yeah, when he was 18 or 19.
When he was really, had 20 wins or some shit and undefeated, and then he unified the title and all that. The unfortunate thing for Mike Tyson is that he was at the height of his popularity at a time when I don't believe that there were a lot of great heavyweight boxers.
That's rough.
Evander Holyfield, I think, would have whipped his ass.
He did.
But Tyson went to jail for, 3 years or something. So he had all that time out of the ring. He was well beyond his prime. They were scheduled to fight each other, and then Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson. And so Evander Holyfield beat the shit out of Buster Douglas.
I think it has a lot to do with the styles of fighting, too. I think that Evander Holyfield was a bad matchup for Mike Tyson at that time. Mike
Tyson was not a good boxer. Mike Tyson was incredibly compact. He was only 5'10", still is. And so he could really ball himself up. So the defense, it was hard to get in a good shot on him, and he could just work his way in and get those real hard shots on you. But, when Lennox Lewis was 6'5" or some shit.
Lennox was who I was going to think of.
Was just dominated him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a close fight, but Lennox Lewis was in the prime of his career, and Mike Tyson was trying to keep his house.
Sure. Yeah.
So, it was a situation where, he fought Larry Holmes. He fought, but Larry Holmes was at the tail end of his career.
Right.
Who was the other? Spinks. Knocked him out in 90 seconds. Spinks had won a gold medal in the Olympics, but he was really he was more a fat middleweight is what he was. He wasn't a true heavyweight.
Yeah. Okay. So literally, that's all of the sports that I have. Finally, we'll get to the fun stuff. I do have one fun thing.
You haven't been having fun, dude? I've been having a blast.
I wanted to get through that because
I came 3 times.
It was such a good documentary. But anyway, so
it was
I wanted to point this out. Okay, so the coronavirus is really serious, but there are funny shit that I think are hysterical. We were stumbling over stuff to try to talk about, and we roll over this post, and it's a picture of a priest with a squirt gun. And the headline read basically that a priest uses squirt gun to squirt holy water onto people to bless them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, am I the only one that thinks that's fucking hysterical?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you have a poor sense of humor? I don't know why.
I think that's and I'm a Christian too.
Oh, good for you.
So I'm like,
fucking run your shit in my face.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
Wearing
this
your
is
hijab.
fucking funny. Like, there is a point where you gotta go, all right, man. Just don't have church if you're gonna get that crazy.
Well, here's the thing. While it seems silly to us,
Yeah.
to the people who really believe, that's important. And he's trying to do his part. I would have used the super soaker or fire hose.
High PSI fire hose?
Oh, yeah.
Like straight out of the hydrant?
Straight at like
Who's blessing it as it comes out of the
like
deal?
giving John Rambo a fucking bath in the jail cell in First Blood. Yeah, I mean, just turn it on close range, and because you know what the difference between holy water and regular water is? Nothing. So you could just tell them it's holy water, and really that's a good excuse to just hit somebody with a fire hose.
No, the water's blessed.
Sure it is.
Yeah, it is. But anyways, I thought that was funny, non-related. Oh shit! Back to sports. I wanted to talk. I just wanted that little excerpt right there. How about some stereotypes for baseball players?
How about it?
Yeah, you got any? Did you ever have any?
Stereotypes?
Oh, not did I say stereotypes?
Yeah, you did.
Superstitions.
They're all fucking jagoffs. They're all mustache wearing fucking jackoffs.
No, not stereotypes. Superstitions. Did you ever have any superstitions when you were playing ball?
Yeah,
There's always the one. There's the number one.
Yeah, I would never take the field without my coach fisting me.
No. No, not that.
Oh.
Not that at all.
Okay.
No, I was talking about like something as simple as like not stepping on the foul line. Did you ever do that?
No, I stepped on the foul line all the time. I walked on the foul line most of the time.
Why?
I pitched from the foul line sometimes.
Why would you do something like that? That's such bad juju.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
Well, you notice I didn't make the majors, so
That's true. You noticed I didn't either.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should have stepped on that foul line, Scotty. I like to have nice chalked up shoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you actually, other than getting fisted in the ass before you ran out onto the field?
Let's see. Yes, I the way I put my shoes on.
Okay. What'd you do?
Sock, left sock, left shoe, right sock, right shoe.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, that's weird.
Any other time, I put the socks then the shoes.
Yeah.
But before a game, to put my cleats on.
Yeah.
Because we always had those. I always liked the knee length pants.
knee length pants. Yeah.
But they never would give us real stirrups. We'd get the socks with the painted on stirrups, and I didn't want to wear those anywhere but on the field. And so I'd take off my regular street shoes and socks and put on left sock.
Yeah.
Left cleat. I mean, I consciously did it.
That's crazy.
It just didn't feel right. I think I did it once and had a great game, and so yeah.
I had a couple. And I had a couple questions for people that are in the audience that listen, that are baseball fans. I heard one that was changing your bat with 2 strikes. Like obviously in college with metal bats and or aluminum bats, it doesn't happen very often. But I heard it was one that was actually kind of a big one. Like don't change your bat with 2 strikes on you. Well, in the majors, if you break your bat on 2 strikes, apparently it's really bad luck to get a bat.
Boy, if you find a pitcher that can saw off your Easton,
yeah.
Boy, that guy's throwing some heat.
He's throwing some gas.
You don't want to fucking mess with that guy. Just take the fucking out.
This one I did. Hat art. Did you ever do hat art?
I knew a guy named Art that wore hats.
No, like under the bill of your hat. Because everybody took their hat off whenever they would, go up to the plate, or some guys would leave it on under the helmet, whatever.
Fair enough.
But that's how you identified whose hat it was, whose glove it was, and stuff like that. You'd write your name on the underbill of your hat. I had hat art on the bill of my hat.
Okay.
Like a whole bunch of it. Had my number, had my name, had whatever girl I was dating at the time.
I didn't wear a hat. I wore that
helmet.
The big hockey helmet.
Nice.
I feel like it really it helped me focus.
Yeah.
And I'd wear a tablecloth sometimes.
Okay, that's fair. Bat tape or pine tar on your bat? Like there was a specific way that you had to wrap the tape on your bat? Did you ever do any of that stuff?
No, not really. I never really played with pine tar.
We had
the
both.
bats we had grip that was already on them, and we had batting gloves.
Okay, so apparently this was really big whenever I was in college. Like they would take the tape that came with the bat, and they would wrap them in other stuff. They would wrap them in athletic tape in a particular style that they liked. It would make it thicker. They would do all kinds of shit.
Okay.
I didn't really give a damn. As long as I was able to grab and hold on to it when flat on my hands, I didn't care.
Eric Hosmer does that with his wooden bats. He puts a yellow bat tape on.
That yellow bat tape, yeah. Same thing.
I think he might have been the first guy to do that. Take tape that was meant for aluminum bats and put them on a
Put
wooden.
them on wood. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Last one I have was baseball players with long strings for their gloves. You know what I'm talking about?
You don't trim the strings.
Don't trim the strings. You just keep on pulling it tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And the longer the strings are, made you the coolest.
That gives you something to chew on in the field.
Yeah, that's true.
I had that fucker thing in my mouth so many times.
You look like the guy that would chew on the one for the tightening the thumb.
I would chew on whatever one I could get to. I had a baseball glove restrung once, which, by the way, around here is a bitch to find somebody. Well, out in Cunningham, where I'm from, town of 400 people, tracking down somebody who can restring the baseball glove. But once you get a glove broke in, you don't want to switch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it becomes part of your hand.
Sure. And last but not least, the one that I had to deal with, every single game, our coach made us do his superstition our entire high school careers.
him.
No. No.
That was weird.
We had to polish our fucking cleats every game.
Really?
We had to shine our fucking shoes. We all had to have black cleats.
Uh-huh.
And we all had not like the old timer like shoe polish stuff,
right?
But like the black paint that you can get in a bottle.
Sure.
We all had to do that to our shoes before we walked out onto the field. He said it would make us intimidate the other team because we looked so sharp.
And what happened when that didn't happen?
No, actually, no, we were good.
I'm sure you were, but I'm sure they weren't like, fuck, look at their shoes.
Exactly.
Oh my God, there's no way we can play these guys. Their fucking shoes are darker than ours.
Bunch of rich kids buy fucking new shoes every fucking game.
I would think that having extra black shoes out in the sun would make your feet real hot.
Hot as fuck.
I actually, toward the end of high school, I switched to a white cleat.
We wanted to. First of all, we wanted to get out of having to polish our cleats because you didn't have to if they were white. But we wanted white everything. We wanted white jerseys, white pants, and white shoes.
Sure.
White hats.
I never understood who it was that thought, hey, polyester
would
be great for a summer sport. That shit that doesn't breathe at all. And then way back in the day, they used to have wool.
Yeah.
God, that had to really suck.
Yeah.
Might as well have had them play in coats.
That would really
sweaters.
But hey, man, that's all I got before we get to our draft.
The big one that I've always I want to.
Okay, go for it.
The one I never really had to be a part of this, but one of the things with major league teams, is talking about shit that's happening and fucking it up.
Oh, like dropping
a
no-no.
Yeah,
that's a bad one.
Or just talking to the pitcher while he's got one going. You just leave the guy
fucking guy alone. Yeah, leave and let him sit at the end of the dugout all by himself when it's our turn to bat.
Yeah,
that's a bit. Yeah, that is a big one. Eye black's another one. Designs with eye black. Never do that.
No, I never went blackface.
No. Just right here. Just huge things. With eye black.
I never played on a team where we really got into that kind of shit. We had minimal equipment and. We never had our own.
Sorry, didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable.
We just didn't do that shit. We played this. We played it naked, like God intended.
Your coach fisted your ass.
I meant on the face. We played naked face.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so
All right, now let's move on.
Let's move on to the draft. Okay, so the draft last week. Unfortunately, the guy that's not here was the guy that won. He won landslide victory.
Boy, did that say a lot about our fans.
Well, no, I think that he took the right pathway to winning the draft.
To pandering to mindless schmucks.
No,
I don't want to sit down and have, meaningful conversation with, a sporting legend. I want to fucking get drunk.
Yeah.
And look at titties.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he did.
And have a big fat golfer help me.
I would have partied
Violate
with
a
you.
woman.
You would have partied with John Daly too.
Well, sure.
But you wouldn't have let him.
There's a lot of guys who are great party animals that they don't have to be sports legends for
Yeah,
that.
that's true. That's true. I wouldn't have picked Aaron Hernandez. But
oh yeah, he wouldn't have been fun to party.
no, not really.
OJ probably wouldn't have been too
No,
fun.
not very fun either. Any others? Bill Cosby.
OJ McDuffie is who I meant.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
He
wanted to
wasn't
go
really
over-
an athlete, but
I wouldn't want OJ McDuffie.
no, I said Bill Cosby.
No, but he did some jokes about football.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So since Derek is not here, he doesn't get to embellish in his winnings of absolutely nothing. But he actually gets to stay at home and not be a part of this draft, which I actually am really excited for this one. This draft for today is pick your favorite team names that are creative that you would actually love to have be your team names.
Okay, our favorites or just ones that we love?
Your favorites. Your favorite creative names.
Most of the ones on my list are teams that I really had not heard of, or I'd heard of them, but don't really follow these teams.
Okay. No, if you had a team and this was your nickname, you would still kind of like it. You know what I'm talking about? They're really creative, they're kind of quirky, but they're fun.
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm curious to see what you have picked because I told you.
What is this creative thing you're talking about? What is creativity?
Okay, well, for example,
Explain it. Break it down to the fucking performance artist what creativity is.
for
Why don't
example, we are taking this one off the table because this is the city that we're from, and we think that it would be a disadvantage to whoever doesn't get this name. But where we live, Wichita, Kansas, has the Wichita State Shockers, which came from the Wheat Shockers, and that is a creative name. We have a mascot, Woo Shock doesn't matter, but the team name Shockers of actually what it is, it's a creative name, right? Not two in the goo, one in the poo.
Well, that's what they do.
That's actually the inside when you go to the games.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can get a big foam hand of that.
you can.
Yes.
They sell them.
I don't know if the school officially sells them.
Yes, they do.
I've seen them.
They sell them as like the mascot's hand going like this.
Yeah.
We've embraced it. Two in the pink, one in the stink.
Oh,
Gotta
I
love
embraced it long before.
I know.
Back the old T-ball groupies.
Oh, that's so disgusting and awful. But you can't use that one. But that was what I would
wasn't
consider.
going to.
But that was one that we can't use. But it's a creative name that you would actually like.
All right. Okay.
Did I fuck up your plan?
You couldn't fuck up my plans if you had to.
Okay.
Because I'm going to go with what I'm going to go with.
All right. Well,
All right.
because I didn't. Oh shit. You were dead last, so you get first
There's
pick.
just two of us, so why don't we alternate?
I know, but you get first pick.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're alternating.
Yeah. We don't have to go snake style.
No,
for this.
snake scout. That'd be stupid.
And
are we
because
picking
there's
5?
two of us, I think let's go 8.
I think 8. Let's go 7. Seven's good.
You can't do 8.
We're already.
Let's find out what we got, and then
Yeah, we'll go from there.
because I've got some honorable mentions and shit too.
Okay. I've
right.
got some dishonorable mentions too.
All right.
Okay, you get first pick. You go.
Probably my favorite one is the Long Beach State Dirtbags.
God damn it! I like that one.
I love that one.
That's awesome, and that's not even their real fucking name.
Well, it's the baseball team.
It's the baseball team's name, but the school is the 49ers.
Right.
So
I know that.
Damn it. That's a good pick.
Yes, it's a great pick.
I am going to pick my favorite. I love this one very, very much. The Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy.
course, they're referring to the common North American banded raccoon,
Yeah, damn right.
commonly known as the trash panda.
That's right.
All right.
So I got that one.
All right.
The logo is badass too.
Okay.
Yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. Okay,
All right.
your turn.
I'm going to go with the University of California, Santa Cruz banana slugs.
I looked at that one too.
Oh, I already knew about them.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't until today.
Oh, yeah. I knew all about them.
Santa Cruz banana slugs. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. I kind of want to pick some fun ones, but let's see. One of my favorite logos, the Rocky Mountain Vibe. It's a minor league baseball team, the Rocky Mountain Vibe. Vibe.
That's your number 2 pick. Is
The Vibe.
Boy, I'm gonna kick the shit out of you.
No,
Sounds like a fucking soccer team.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's a minor league baseball team.
Where are we at? Number 3?
We're at number 3.
For mine, this is a deep dig, but
Okay.
it's still a team.
Okay.
Going to Yuma, Arizona.
Okay.
Yuma High School. Criminals.
You're kidding me.
Nope.
I don't believe this. Somebody get somebody from Yuma, Arizona, and have them direct message me as soon as humanly possible. You're
Yuma
kidding me.
High School Criminals.
Oh my God. No fucking way. I really do. I want somebody in the Arizona area. Please do direct message us. Send me an email. I don't care, but I want validity, please. I'm going to take the Akron Rubber Ducks.
That was on my list.
I know. I didn't know, but that's one of my favorites too.
Okay.
All right. Go with another one of your ridiculous names.
The Scottsdale Community College Fighting Artichokes.
Fighting Artichokes.
Their mascot is Artie the Artichoke.
The Fighting Artichoke? How the fuck does an artichoke fight?
Poorly.
Okay. Ah, jeez. Man, I don't want to do any of my super cool ones anymore. I just want to be the funny ones. Okay, I'm going to take... I'm going to go with the Omaha Storm Chasers.
Okay.
I like that name.
All right.
And I think it's very creative, and I like it.
Sure. It's fitting.
Okay, go.
All right. Going real deep again.
Okay.
Up to Freeburg, Illinois. The Freeburg High School, and I'm not joking, Midgets.
These cannot be real.
These are
fucking names.
real as a fucking heart attack. I
You looked up the school.
guess it's serious as a heart attack.
Yeah, serious as a heart
yes,
attack.
I looked them up. That is...
I want to see a logo. Pull up the logo right now.
Okay.
I don't believe this. The Midgets.
Well, here.
No, like they have to have an actual logo. Like look up the high school name and put the Midgets and then see if it comes up with anything like that has the actual logo. I can't believe they would actually do that. And if they do, you win. Damn it, that just blows everything I have away. I guess I'm going to end with the Louisiana University of Raging Cajuns. The Midgets. You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Are we at 7 already?
We're past 5 right now.
Oh, okay.
Goodness gracious.
Freeburg Community High School, home of the Midgets.
Fucking, you're kidding me. Oh, that's awful.
Uh-huh.
Then they're all full-sized people playing football.
I don't know that they are. I have never seen one game, but I love them all the same.
It's another another one, go ahead and give us a direct message, please.
What are we at?
I just took my 5th pick.
5. So we're at 6.
We're at 6. God dang it, I'm running out of selections. I didn't know we were going to do this many.
I'm going to go with it's a minor league baseball team, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos.
I did see that one.
To separate them from the other colored Wahoos out there.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to go with, let's see. I think I'm going to go with the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Or Rumble Pony. Just one. Oh, man. Fucking midgets. All right. Last pick.
I want to hear what their cheerleaders have.
They're vertically challenged. Mm-hmm. So
that's got to be the shortest pyramid.
That's exactly where I was going. Me and you can
It's
stand
the obvious choice. Okay. I got a few picks here. This is the last one. Mm-hmm. Gonna go back to Illinois. Illinois's got some great high schools, but in Hoopeston, Illinois, the Hoopeston High School Corn Jerkers.
The Corn Jerkers. Okay. These can't be real.
They are real. There's a third one from Illinois that I'll get into after you make your final pick.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Hillsboro Hops, because of beer and stuff. Oh, man. I did have some really bad ones, though. So I had some dishonorable mentions, but you go ahead and you can start with yours.
Well, the ones that I didn't pick, there's in Cobden, Illinois, the Cobden High School Apple Knockers.
That sounds like a new rap song that should come out.
Minor league baseball team, there's the Amarillo Sod Poodles.
I saw that one too.
Fuck is a sod poodle?
I don't know.
I know what sod is. I know what a poodle is.
Right.
Do you is it kind of like an ice sculpture only made out of sod?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know.
You got the Lansing Lugnuts.
I saw that one.
The Montgomery Biscuits.
That one I could not pick because the only thing I could think of was like a Limp Biscuit.
Okay.
Something that I would not want that
would
on
have
my
been
team.
Fun for your list rather than the fucking vibe.
The vibe looks cool. I'm not going to lie.
And then one just kind of honorable mention. I wasn't going to ever put it on my list, but one interesting fact, the Pittsburgh State Gorillas.
Yeah.
It's interesting fact, they are the only college or pro team in the United States named the Gorillas.
Really?
That's the only gorilla mascot.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But other than that, it's pretty well what I got.
I had some dishonorable mentions.
Okay. Fair enough.
The first one that came to my mind was the Utah Jazz.
Okay.
And the only reason why that is because of the line in basketball. Whenever he said that the New Orleans Jazz moved to Utah where they don't allow music. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, yeah, that's a dumb name. You should have changed it.
Right.
Then the Montreal Canadiens.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much self-explanatory.
That's
dumb.
That's kind of like the one that I came up with, the Houston Texans.
Yep, that's dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Why?
You couldn't come up with anything else.
Anything better than that.
Well, what's one thing that describes us all? Well, we're all Texans.
Let's go with it.
That is the one thing I've always said, the worst part about Texas. It's full of Texans. And, other than that, it's great. And Mexicans. But mostly Texans.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, the Tex-Mex, we get the great food.
That's true.
That's
like
right. The famous Irishman, Carlos O'Kelly.
That's only a thing for on our area, though.
But as far as also my dishonorable mention, now granted, I realize that the names date back to a different time, but Red Sox, White Sox.
Yeah.
Socks. The Cincinnati Red Stockings.
Yes.
Fuck you. Well, they wear red stockings. What should we call them? I don't know. The Tigers. Anything else.
Yeah, right. The last one I had was the Vancouver Canucks, which is what you call somebody who lives in
At least that's a creative nickname. I mean,
sure.
You know, that'd be like having the Wisconsin Cheeseheads or whatever. I mean,
that's fine.
Which we know Derek loves.
Loves them. Okay, so that wraps up the draft. We will put that on Facebook eventually, and you guys can vote for Jeremy's team because it's funnier than mine.
Midgets all the way.
I can't believe that's a fucking name. Anyways, guys.
And the criminals.
Anyways, this is my favorite part of the show. This is what we like to call our shitty situation of the week. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite part of our show. This is what we like to call the shitty situation. It's basically a would you rather. So, Jeremy, what is this week's shitty situation?
Well, it's going to play off of our little draft that we just did, which it seems very obvious. Which would you rather have as your team mascot, the criminal or the fighting artichoke?
It's not even close.
They are very different ends of the spectrum, don't you think?
Yeah, one's about as maniacal as a box of kittens, and the other one has probably got a gun.
Dude, have you ever seen a box of kittens? They can get fucking rough.
Declawed box of kittens.
Okay. I didn't know the declawed part. You'd leave fucking details out, Scotty, and I'm lost. You know what? Fuck, I quit.
I don't know. What kind of criminal are we talking here?
The worst kind.
The worst kind?
That's high school criminals.
That's way more intimidating than a fucking fighting artichoke.
Yeah, what if it's just a guy who writes bad checks?
Yeah, exactly.
What is jaywalker? Jaywalkers are technically criminals.
It's the catch me if you can guy. That guy. Leonardo
DiCaprio?
But the real guy. Yeah. He wasn't very intimidating.
No.
Are we going that route? Or is this a broad spectrum of criminals?
Okay, the mascot for the Yuma High School criminals is just a face of like a old 1920s street gangster thug.
Okay. All right.
And then
they should have been called the gangsters.
And then I showed you we did a little research on that, by the way.
It's
the
true.
reason they're called that is because the original school building in Yuma, Arizona, the original high school building had previously been the prison there. So
the name stuck.
It still looked like a jail on the inside, so they called them the criminals.
And nobody, principal or anybody in that place said, you know what, maybe we should probably change the name.
This is a different time, Scotty.
Okay, fine.
Well, I think just like with a lot of shit that Yuma is a known town. I mean, I took the 310 there once.
Yeah.
But other than that,
good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. And Donald Artichokes.
Yeah.
No, not Donald. What was the guy's name?
I don't know.
It was the fake ID that Rusty got in Vegas Vacation.
Oh no, that was Nick Papagiorgio.
Yeah, from Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah,
That's the two places we know Yuma, Arizona from. And now you know him for 3 reasons. But it's probably a smaller community that doesn't like change.
Okay.
And so we've been the criminals all our lives.
Yeah.
We're going to stay the criminals.
Yeah. I'm definitely going with the criminals.
And that'll get you mentioned on a low tier podcast. That's
exactly
the kind of notoriety that shit brings you. Tier. We're pretty low tier.
I don't know. We're up there. We're getting.
All right.
We're climbing. We're climbing.
We're the next Mark Maron.
I'm taking the criminals. I would much rather be somebody who's intimidating than not so much. Fighting fucking artichokes.
I feel like I'd go the other way.
What?
Just because, I showed you that mascot, right? He seems the kind of guy everybody's going to underestimate.
Yeah, okay.
I believe the artichoke to be one of the more fierce vegetables.
Okay.
Out there. It's certainly up there as far as like scrappiest produce.
Oh yeah, nutritional value way up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, artichoke hearts. They got heart.
Especially in the time like right now, something like that would help your immune system fight COVID-19.
Right, and that's just standard artichoke.
Oh, yeah.
A fighting artichoke? Fuck, you might as well sandpaper a badger's ass in a phone booth.
Yeah, that's true. That's
fight
true.
a fucking fighting artichoke.
Yep. Okay.
I'm going with fighting artichokes.
I get it. I get your pick.
All right. And then I looked it up. I had meant to look it up before I put it on my list because I wanted to verify it. But I didn't, and now I want to mention it because they certainly deserve at least honorable mention. In Arco, Idaho, Butte County High School,
Okay.
the Butte Pirates. That is 1,000% real. Those poor motherfuckers.
You've got to be kidding me.
Nope.
That's real.
The Butte Pirates.
Oh, my God. I bet you all the girls that go to that high school are a bunch of whores.
I think the guys probably are. It's probably an all-boys school, Scotty.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. You just can't make this shit up. No. Is it Dubutte?
Butte.
Just
B-U-T-T-E.
Okay, that's worse.
Butte Pirates.
Oh, fuck. Well, I would definitely be the criminals over that one, too.
Then again, if you lived or if you had to have Butte High School, what else would it be? Honestly, I don't think I could think of another name for it.
You know, you got to hand it to them because you know that they've got to have a sense of humor when they're picking that name.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved to have been in there whenever they were picking it.
Not really known for people from Idaho.
No.
Ruby Ridge is in Idaho. That wasn't funny.
Yeah. There's not really much water around Idaho.
No.
No.
That makes it really hard to be a pirate. It makes it hard to be a seafarer at all.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah. They're just what are they out on the lake? Just kind of trolling around, stealing your shit?
I don't know what they're doing, Scotty.
Okay.
I'm guessing fucking each other in the ass.
Okay.
As the name would suggest.
I guess so. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for the week. We hope to have Derek back here next week, hopefully. But you can follow us on Facebook. We are still there, which is the Laughing on the Sidelines or Laughing on the Sidelines at Facebook. You can also watch all of these episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/Laughing on the Sidelines. We are growing and followers quite rapidly.
And showing.
Yeah, quite rapidly on TikTok. I have a couple of my videos I put on there, and they're doing very well. Jeremy, you should do funny videos and send them to me. I'll put them on our TikTok.
No.
Okay, it was a shot. But anyways, guys, that is our show. We do ask you to follow us, share the episodes, or share any of the stuff with anybody that you may think would like us. But we like to always say, you guys are our advertisement. Please tell your friends, your family, if you like us. But if you don't like us,
I hope your mother gets diverticulitis in her eyes.
if you don't like us,
Tell your enemies.
and until next time, guys,
Keep laughing, assholes.
we'll see you next time. Take care.